Welcome to Two Dudes and a Cup. I'm Ryan.
I am Jason.
And today is our first episode, inaugural episode. We're going to be talking about the Xbox Showcase and what we saw and what we liked, what we didn't like. The time you're listening to this is a few days old, but we're going to go over Xbox Showcase, touch upon a little bit of the Ubisoft Showcase, and what happened, and some of the announcements at Summer Game Fest for this year. Before we go really into it, Jason, what did you think overall of the Xbox Showcase?
Xbox Showcase was pretty much what I thought it would be. How it's been quite a few years. Same thing as always. Let's show some CGI trailers. Let's let them know that the games will be out next year. And that's about it. But from my understanding, what I've been reading, a lot of people are excited about the showcase, which I don't know how when there's really no gameplay of much. But all in all, it was, I guess it's good. Xbox needs to step up their game because PlayStation's always winning with the first party titles.
I agree with that. One thing I remember I read is that Sony initially, when asked about with what's happening with Game Pass and the Xbox is putting all their stuff day one, Sony basically took the superior, and people will pay for our games.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really stupid statement, really kind of self-righteous, I guess you could say. Probably not using that properly, but and then I got a PlayStation, and I was like, you know what? They're not fucking wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The first party titles are great.
They're amazing.
Like Spider-Man, I am super excited for that game.
Oh, that looked just amazing. There's one thing about the Summer Game Fest announcement for that kind of made me hesitate, and I kind of got flashbacks to the Halo television show because they said it's not Eddie Brock as Venom.
Yeah.
Which is how it was in the comic. And they
Yeah.
said, we want to tell our own story.
Yeah.
Which, that's a dangerous word, and that's a dangerous game to play, especially when you talk to comic book fans.
Did you hear the crowd? They didn't sound too pleased about that comment.
So one thing, and again, if they do it well, it's fine. I don't care as long as it's done right and done correctly, and they pay homage to the source material. If they do what they did with like the Halo television series, where they're just gonna go on their own fucking little rant here,
yes.
and oh well, this is our Venom. If it's done well, I don't really care how it's done, as long as it's true to the character of Venom, keep the symbiote stuff, and just don't. If their interpretation. But the thing about games today is you're not going to please everybody. So that's just what I want. I just don't want them to go way off.
Right. But you'll please everybody if you just keep to how it is, what we're used to in the comments, so-and-so, But everybody likes to do their own little spin, so maybe this might be great and I'll be somebody to talk about down the road. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think Spider-Man, let me pull it up here. Oh, no, we did get a release date. October 20th.
Yes, Spider-Man, they did throw a release date. PlayStation Showcase was pretty good. I still think PlayStation was a little bit better than Xbox. But, honestly, Starfield saved Xbox ass.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that closer to the end here, because that was at the tail end of the showcase, and we're not going to go over everything because there was a lot of things in the showcase, on everybody's showcase, that some of them, I'm sure there's a market there somewhere. That's why it was in the showcase. But like 33 Immortals, I think, was one of the games. It looks. I don't know if it is a roguelike or what the case of it is. But they're like, it's 33 player co-op, and I'm like, that's a feature.
Yeah. It looks.
Like I said,
it looks fun.
Yeah. But again, we there's a lot to cover, and I don't want to make this a 4-hour podcast.
Yeah.
But the Xbox Showcase, my overall impression of it is kind of like you were saying, is with what Sony is doing. I heard another group talk about this. Xbox desperately needs a win in the first party market, like the first party game market.
Yeah.
Halo was a complete, in my opinion, Halo was absolutely garbage. Halo Infinite. It was,
After Halo 3, it dropped.
yeah. Bungie obviously stepped away 343, and I don't hate the Halo series. I love the Halo series.
Yeah.
I grew up with it. And Infinite wasn't like the worst game on the planet, but it felt so unfinished. And the biggest problem that I have with games today, Star Wars Battlefront 2 was a big thing. It was awful at the start, and it took months for them to fix it. But it's one of those, you burn me once, I'm not going to go back. And you can use the argument of like, oh, you paid $50, $60, whatever for the game. I can't bring myself to go back to games that I got hyped for and let down at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next point of Bethesda. Well, Bethesda mainly, but that's the problem with their first party, with a lot of AAA titles. They're huge letdowns at the beginning, and I really, really don't want to be let down by any of these games. And I have a feeling Starfield is the one I'm most hesitant about, and we'll get more into that later.
I kind of get what you're saying, but yeah, we'll talk about that.
The first one we're going to talk about is Fable. It is back officially. It was just a cinematic trailer. It was beautiful. They didn't.
It was great.
They made some mentions. The character Dave. What's the actor's name? I've seen him at IT Crowd. He's actually he's hilarious.
Yeah.
Kind of mentioned some customizable features. He said something about like high cheekbones, and I think that's in reference to a character creator.
Yeah.
But that was really all it was, and you find out at the end in the trailer he's a giant, and what you assume would be the player character is a small person, and
yeah, it looks kind of. I don't know. It looks interesting. I'll give it a try, of course, since I'm a Game Pass, so I'm guess it'll be free day one. So yeah, I'll try it. I don't know. I've never really played much of the Fables, off and on, but we'll see. I mean, it looked pretty.
It looked absolutely gorgeous, but again, kind of like as you said in the beginning, it was.
I'm not getting too excited about it. I know a lot of people hoping it's going to be great. I hope it is for those people.
The actor's name, Richard, I hope I'm pronouncing this, Ayoade. He was I know him from IT Crowd. I know he's been in other stuff since then, but hilarious actor. He played the giant called Dave.
I know what you're yes, the guy, yes.
He's been in some other stuff.
I've seen him in others.
He's hilarious. He's very... just the way he explained that whole thing of like oh, I'm a giant, this is just kind of everyday thing. It was funny. It got my attention, and I watched the whole thing mainly because of him. The other one that really caught my eye, I think was the next one after that, was South of Midnight. That one is
South of Midnight.
That one's slated for late 2024. Oh, and also Fable, we did not get a release date.
No, it's probably not going to come out until another 4 years.
I mean, we've only been waiting almost a decade or more.
And honestly, it's been about almost 4 or 5 years since they released it.
Fable 3 release. Let me check that. The Fable 3, 2010. It's been 13 years since Fable has been out there.
Yeah, it's like a running joke of. What's that one game that everybody wants to make part 3 of?
Half-Life.
Half-Life, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's coming. So we just didn't get a release date. South of Midnight. That is slated for late 2024 next year.
South of Midnight.
South of Midnight.
Oh yes, we just got that cutscene, that little CGI. It looked kind of interesting.
Yeah, the developer describes it as macabre. It obviously some kind of magic. Clearly, it takes place in the South. It's got bayou.
It takes place in the South.
Well, it's got that bayou flair, like the characters from the bayou. It got my attention. It looks interesting.
There'd be some voodoo dolls in that or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But again, not knowing anything about it, it looks like it's going to be.
It looks interesting. But I'm going to be honest. I think it's probably going to be a flop because most of these games I was thinking about when I was watching the showcase. Like I remember, like a couple years back, they're like hyping up these games. Oh, they're going to be great, and they're all flops.
Oh, Redfall is a perfect example.
Redfall, it was the biggest flop. They rushed that, and that's killing them because everybody thought that game was going to be great. I was actually excited because I thought, well, me and the guys, we can play that online and have some fun. No.
Well, and that's the other thing too is it looked a lot like it had that like Left 4 Dead kind of feel.
Yeah.
And they Again, that's my biggest issue with AAA games now. It's like there's a lot of games I won't even touch until they've been out for a while because I know they're just going to come out and be awful. Redfall, I was going to play it. I didn't end up playing it. Just life and everything got in the way. But
Well, that's not even worth it.
well, and yeah, and hearing other people talk about it, well, why am I going to waste my time on a game? But again,
it is free though, right?
Right, but what I fully expect to happen is I'm going to hear something in 6 months like, oh, well, they fixed the game. It's like, okay, but you didn't release the game.
Yeah,
right
like
away.
the last Battlefield, it was like so shit when it first came out, and then it took like almost a year for it to make it better.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I think even Battle 2042, even now it's a good, it's a good game. Actually, I'm going to play that over Call of Duty.
Another one that was a big hype. There's been rumors swirling about EA not making this game, a new Star Wars game, and it turned out to be Star Wars Outlaws.
Ubisoft, massive.
Yes.
Massive Entertainment are the ones making it. They're actually good developers over there. I'm thinking they are in charge of Division as well, if I'm not mistaken. And which Division is still obviously a great game. I enjoy playing it. I wish more of my friends play it.
Yeah, no, it's a fun. This is an open world Star Wars RPG. You're gonna play as essentially a scoundrel smuggler kind of Han Solo.
It's a Han, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Han
It's
Solo.
a woman Han Solo.
Yeah.
They're just pleasing the woman base a little bit.
But again, as long as the
But
characters
it looks
are done
good.
well.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna play the heck out of it.
Yeah,
I think
no.
it's great.
I mean, again, as long as the character is done well, that's the biggest thing I have is, and I hate hearing about it, is like, oh, well, we need more female. I don't care if the protagonist is male or female.
Yeah, it don't bother me.
Just as long as they're good characters. Aloy from Horizon Forbidden,
Great.
Not Forbidden. I haven't played Forbidden West yet.
But I know you're talking
Zero
about.
Dawn. She was a great character.
Oh yeah.
It was her against the world, and she had to figure it out. But she was again executed well. That's the biggest point.
As long as I think they'll execute this well. I mean, the gameplay that I saw and then the cutscenes into it,
it focused on
great.
the game. That's
Yeah.
what I was
And I
impressed
love
about.
her little side character with
Oh,
her.
the little
Yeah, because it's kind of cool because you can go and like say you're in a battle and if you look, you can see like an enemy's weapon drop, which that's cool. They're putting that in, and then you can just tell them bring that blaster to you,
or attack or distract or go
Something.
push a button
Yeah.
like that. That was the one cool thing, is that she was hiding and there was two of these drug trade or one of the underworld trader drug trafficking.
I think it's going to be an awesome story. I'm pretty psyched. I think it slated to come out early 2024.
Here's something I don't want from Star Wars Outlaws. I want this to be its own thing. I don't want this to focus on Jedi. I don't want this to focus on Sith, and I don't think it's going to. But what I really don't want is I don't want them to cross paths with original characters unless it's done organically. I don't need a cameo for cameo's sake. Star Wars has become such a huge thing with The Mandalorian. I mean, like what Clone Wars did, Rebels did.
Andor.
Yeah, Andor, Rebels.
Obi-Wan Kenobi now.
We don't need the Skywalker stuff.
No.
This is a perfect opportunity to show them the underworld. And what was the canceled? There was a canceled Star Wars game.
It was a bounty hunter game.
Yeah, 1414 or 1330.
That gameplay they showed, everybody was pumped.
Yeah. And I think it was that one was actually supposed to be young Boba Fett, like Boba
Supposedly,
Fett.
and I think EA was actually in the works of that, if I remember
but
right.
Disney bought everything, and they that's one of the first things they canned. But again, I want to see. This is a huge opportunity for them to show what the majority of the galaxy is like.
Oh yeah,
because you see it through the lens of the Jedi and the Sith, and that conflict through so much.
Right.
Even Rebels. I mean, because Kanan and Ezra having to focus on that pinhole with the Jedi conflict. Well, the rest of the world, and it was done in Mandalorian when they did the side character for what was the character that did the cloning? I can't remember his name.
Well, I only watched season 1 and 2. I need to watch 3.
Well, he does a presentation because obviously Empire is defeated. It's
right,
like the Republic, and he goes in and talks to these rich people on Coruscant.
Oh yeah.
And
I know who you're talking about.
but-
I forgot their name.
Right. Great character development.
Yeah.
But anyway, no. But you know who the character is.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes and talks to the rich people, and they're like, "Oh, Rebels, Republic, Empire." I don't know it didn't matter to majority of the galaxy, and I think this is their opportunity to show what the rest of the galaxy looks like outside of everything else.
And I think we'll get that. I mean, I think there'll be. Of course, they're going to be. The Empire is going to be there.
Well, she's being chased by the Empire
because she's won it. I mean, that's the whole point. I'm sure there might be a little Darth Vader here. I don't know I don't know the timeline of this, so who knows?
It's between. No, it is between
I didn't hear
Empire and Return.
Okay, so we'll probably get maybe some bounty hunters in here that maybe something.
And like I said, as long again, if it's done well and it's done organically, I just don't.
I can see Boba Fett coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, but like I said, it's I don't want to like. I like the idea of Darth Vader being like the boogeyman.
Oh yeah.
So I don't want to see him. I don't want to see Luke. These characters need to be kind of retired. And
well, not Darth Vader.
Well, okay. Well, what I'm saying is I don't
in
need
this story. Yes.
Yeah, I don't need him in this story.
No, I don't need him. I just want to see what she goes through, and I think it's going to be a great game. I'm pretty excited. And
the
open. I know at Massive, they're pretty on point.
And one thing that was interesting is in the gameplay trailer. So you're after you escape the base and you're going back to whatever the town is. It's a Star Wars name. Obviously, it's very it sounds very Star Wars. I can't remember it, but you see when they were doing the direct, ship flies over her as she's heading back to the town, and he said you can go follow that and see where it lands, and maybe there's an opportunity. Like it seems like they're covering a lot of facets here, and again, that sounds interesting, but it makes me kind of nervous. Like, oh, well, you can go follow that ship. It's like, oh, okay, well, what if I follow it? Like, where is that gonna stop? And again, if they do it and they keep their promise, fantastic. I just don't want a buggy, nasty mess.
Oh, I know. I agree. Hopefully, I don't know how long they've been working on this, but I heard it's been a bit. So hopefully, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. We'll get more details of it. I think we're still going to have maybe a Tokyo Game Show. I don't know, since E3 is canceled now.
Yeah.
So we might get something around that time. That'll be a couple months. But if anything, I guarantee you we'll probably see another gameplay trailer on the Video Game Awards.
I would expect it there. That one, I don't know if I said 2024. It wasn't early, late, just next year. Yeah, is when they promise it.
It's probably honestly, I think it's going to come out next year around September and October.
I would guess holiday. Yeah, that seems like the best bet.
I don't know what Star Wars TV shows in plan to come out next year, so who knows.
The next one that kind of caught my eye, Payday 3. I played the other Paydays, not a lot.
They're fun.
They are. I just never had enough people to play with. That one's coming out this year. It's coming out September 21st.
I love how it teaches kids now how to rob and kill.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the right way to rob a bank. You walk in with your face in plain sight. You walk up to the counter, you put your mask on, and then you rob the bank. Exactly. And you start shooting everybody.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, that's what these kids need.
I mean, if it's not in the educational genre, I don't know what they're doing.
Right. But, I mean, this Payday, we all know how Payday is. I think it's going to be cool. I mean, I remember playing with some buddies, Payday 2, and it was a lot of fun. So, we'll see how it goes. I was actually shocked. I mean, not shocked, but I knew they were making it, but I didn't know it was going to come out this soon.
But, yeah, what I got is... there's obviously more bank robberies and heists. There's lots of bullets flying around.
Yeah, you see, you're gunning down a lot of SWAT members.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's straight. Yeah, I mean, it's probably who knows? This might be based in Chicago. Who knows?
It's probably, that or maybe not L.A. but New York. I would assume maybe. Who knows?
I say Chicago, but that's just me.
The next one I saw, this was a TBD. We did not get a. Avowed.
Oh yeah, they're pretty pumped up. I mean, it looked kind of cool, but it doesn't.
There was a trailer. It was a few years ago, maybe. Not any information. It was a title screen, and I think it was an arrow flying through the air. It turned to fire, and then there was a skeleton. It is being developed by Obsidian. They're responsible for Fallout New Vegas and Outer Worlds, two great RPGs. Mm-hmm. I will say, though, when I first saw it, I thought it was an Oblivion remaster.
Yes.
It reminded me a lot of that.
Well, it kind of looks like this game that's already out right now. I think it's out or it's about to come out. I'm not quite sure, but it's called Immortal. So I think that's what it is, and you can cast spells and stuff like it. Kind of at first I thought that's what it was, but then
now I did do some research on it. Apparently, it is set in the Pillars of Eternity universe, which is an RPG that came out in 2015. It looked like kind of like turn-based or Baldur's Gate kind of movement style. The Pillars of Eternity did. Avowed is obviously going to be a first-person magic slasher.
It looks interesting. I'm gonna download it, of course.
Oh yeah,
to try it out.
Just magic fantasy fighting. That's kind of that's what I got out of it.
Honestly, it reminds me of was it Elder Scroll Online ESO?
Oh, ESO, yeah.
That's what it kind of reminds me of, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, it does. It looks very pretty. I mean, the trailer looked great.
Yeah, the trailer looked pretty. It looked gnarly. It looked great. I enjoyed it, but I mean, who knows, man? That's one thing I've learned now. I'm not getting too excited about these trailers because these CGI trailers because they always the past couple of years it seems like they disappoint.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the thing, and I don't think we'll ever get there. Not with the way the social media and everything works, but I think we're getting closer. You're going to have a lot of people kind of start stepping away, just being let down too much. Is the game crash or whatever from E.T. back in the 80s.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I don't think we'll ever get to that point, but I think you turn a lot of people off. Like there are a lot of times where I'll just it's like when digital cable started taking it. Like you had all these movie channels. You could have 300 channels. Now with Game Pass, I've got a ton of games. I don't have anything to play.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's nothing.
Right, nothing interesting.
There's really not.
It's so much. There's so much quantity. You don't get a lot of quality anymore.
Exactly, and that's my biggest thing is like most of these developers. I'm not saying all, but most they'll pump these games out, and maybe it's really not their fault. It's like the higher ups is telling her to pump this game out when it's not 100%.
Right,
and they're like, you know what? We'll just pump it out. It's not 100%. We'll take a little loss, but we can always do like updates.
Yeah,
free updates.
We'll fix it later.
Or right? We'll give them a free DLC to shut them up. I don't know.
Well, and kind of coming into like quality over or quantity over quality. Who is buying Microsoft Flight Simulator? Because there's a new one coming out next year.
I was about to tell you it's. I was just gonna bring out Flight Simulator, say the name, and then go to the next subject. To be honest with you,
the only thing it caught my attention. I downloaded Flight Simulator because it was free. I would not have paid for it. I downloaded it on my Xbox. I had to move a crap ton of stuff over because there was I didn't have enough space. It's such a huge.
It's massive, but it is kind of cool doing it. Like I literally flew where we live at, and you can actually I know that place.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that. It was cool for 30 minutes,
right.
And I deleted the game. Never played it again.
Same exact thing. Yeah. Now the reason I'm bringing this up a little bit more is this one kind of caught my attention. I spent entirely too much time in a game called SnowRunner. Basically, it's a big everything is mud. You have to transport logs and everything on these roads that are falling apart, and you got to go up mountains that are steep while carrying huge loads of wood or concrete.
Were you absolutely bored or some shit?
Okay,
I had never heard that.
Okay, but here's the thing: that game had no business being as fun as it was. It was one of those things that once you start getting into it,
were you younger and just high as a kite?
No, this was last year. So anyway, the reason I bring it up is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. It has things like that. There's you can go search and rescue.
Yeah, I did see that. That looked kind of cool.
You can help build electric tower.
Or you can do a little flight run of racing.
Oh yeah, the
stuff.
Racing.
Yeah,
firefighting. There's a lot more. It's more than what Flight Simulator is.
Yeah, it gives you some kind of action, I guess, or suspense.
So. Like I said, it looks like a flying version of SnowRunner. Yeah. There's a lot to do.
From my understanding, though, you can play this, and if you got a certain amount of hours, it goes to your flying license.
I have no idea.
I know. I heard about that. A couple people has told me that that if you play this game a certain amount of hours and complete a certain amount of things, it goes towards your trying to get your flying license because it's that realistic.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's.
But on to the next subject.
One thing they did do though is that and it caught my attention the last one that they did. So they're bringing a vehicle from Dune, the movie Dune. It looked cool. They did the same thing with the Halo Pelican.
Yeah, I mean, all it is just hey,
There's one more thing. Do you like Dune?
Yeah.
This might get you to buy the game, right?
Yeah, it's I'm sure it's going to cost money. So.
The another one that they can. I don't have any information on this. It was just a trailer. The next Hellblade.
Well,
two.
it's that. This is what disappointed me. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
No, go ahead.
no. This is what disappointed me because I mean I didn't play the first one, which I might go and download and play it just to see, so I'll know about part two because I do want to play part two. But the first one last year they showed Hellblade. All they showed was the CGI, which I kind of get it. So a lot of people are expecting that we're going to get an actual gameplay. No, same shit. All we get is her talking to herself or thinking to herself, staring at a puddle of fucking water, staring at herself, and that's pretty much it. I get they're trying to throw like another side, about the game, but gamers want to see some gameplay. It's been a couple of years.
I agree. Now, again, as much from I never played the first Hellblade, but I do understand it is something. It touches, and I think there's a warning for it. It touches on things like mental illness.
Yeah, it does.
But again, yeah, I see what you're saying. Again, and this is, I think, one of the bigger problems we have with AAA titles is that we get a lot of information so early, and that's the fault of people wanting information, diving and digging into like every facet online.
Yeah.
And the way that social media works is once one bit of information comes out and you get one person to confirm it, it spreads like wildfire, and then people are just clamoring.
Right.
And these companies kind of get to, in my opinion, they get to a point where they have their back against the wall and they have to provide something.
Oh yeah, I've seen like hidden, not hidden, but like behind the scenes of getting a trailer out ready for a game. Like there's a lot of crunch time they have and everything. But I mean, I'm watching it now. I mean, yeah, there's some gameplay, but we don't know really if that is the real gameplay or if that's just the CGI cutscene.
Well, yeah, it's always a work in progress.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game is going to look good. I mean, we have, Xbox Series X, we've seen games on it that looked pretty stunning. So, I mean, I just was hoping that we get some gameplay. That was one of my disappointment of this showcase, because I've heard a lot of people are expecting gameplay, but it is what it is. So maybe we might get gameplay later on this year. If not, next year.
Yeah,
I don't know when the game's coming out. I think it comes out next year, but
yeah,
we
there's
don't know
no
when.
definitive release date.
Yeah.
Forza Motorsport, another one is coming out.
I'm
Cool.
excited.
It's racing.
Well,
It's
this
cars. This is the simulator version.
This is not the Horizon. I was a fan. I'm a big racing game guy, so I know you're not. But Horizon was fun, but they did it so much, and a lot of people missed like the true of how Forza came about. So it's been, I don't know how long, but I think it's been since like 2018 or 19 since Forza 7. So this is actually Forza 8. So
Yeah.
I've been playing Forza since it first came out on the original, Xbox. So
2017 is when we got the last October
2017. Okay, all right. So I'm pretty excited. It looks good. I've already watched gameplay. They're changing something up on here. If you ever play Forza, when you play it, all you do is do races, win credits, and then you can upgrade your car. Well, now they're changing something to where, when you have your car, you rank up your driver, of course, but you rank up your car, and then you get driver points. So with the car you rank up, if you meet certain levels, that's where you unlock like turbos and weight reductions. It goes into like different categories, and you have to go all the way up to level 50. And with the car points, that is where you can use those points to buy upgrades. So no longer you have to use credit money to buy upgrades. You have to use car points, which I think that's awesome, and it sounds good to where you don't have to waste all your credits in parts.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like that part, you can refund it and get that point back. So it's kind of cool, and just the money that you do have, you just use that money to buy whatever kind of car you want in the game. But I do see a lot of headaches in this too as well, because I know there's lobbies out there like, hey, let's do it like a NASCAR race. Usually people have enough credits, they'll go buy a NASCAR and just soup it up really quick. Well, now you can't really do that. Like, say if you do that, I haven't played on my NASCAR, so I haven't even ranked it up or nothing, so I can't use none of that. So I can see that being a headache, but we'll see what happens. Maybe something will be different on the online side of things, but
If there's one thing gamers are good at, it's finding exploits and finding them quickly.
oh, very quickly, very quickly. So, but I think it's racing wise. I think this game is going to be amazing. I cannot wait. I know it comes out in October. It's a day one on Game Pass if you have Game Pass, so you don't have to pay for it.
Right.
So I think it's going to be fun. I think you should download it since it's free. No excuse.
I probably will. Like, I'll probably play out.
I mean, it's kind of fun playing online.
No, I Forza was when I first got my Xbox. I got one of those dual game discs, and Forza was one of the games on there. So I mean, I'll play it.
Oh yeah, it's fun. Me and my buddy, we used to play late nights all the time, do drifting or whatever. We were known online for having the Beatles that were out drifting people in like the drift competition. I know it's corny, but it's fun.
It's fine.
I mean, there's times to where my buddy's making fun of me, and he sees my car hitting the wall, and all you see me is doing back and forth, hitting the wall, and he's trying to figure out what's wrong with me, and then a couple minutes later, he hears me snoring.
Yeah.
Then he knows what happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, all in all, it's a fun game.
Before we get to the creme de la creme, I do want to touch on Clockwork Revolution. This was like a steampunk shooter. It looked a lot like BioShock, but apparently I didn't read a whole lot on it.
Well, look at BioShock with a little bit of Dishonor in it.
Yeah. But they were very quick to say it's not BioShock, and that's fine. It took a lot. It very clearly took some inspiration.
Yeah, I'm sure they.
And that, again, that's fine. If it's not a direct ripoff, if there's no Adam, if there's not like an Adam clone like in it of like, oh well, you shoot this in and you get different power. No,
exactly. I'm not gonna play it. It didn't
really
look appealing to me.
It caught my attention, but again, it did the whole thing of in due time, because apparently it has to do with time travel. You go back in the past and change stuff.
You can change things up. I get it. That's kind of cool and all, but
it's a concept. But again, all they introduced was the name and the concept.
Right.
Nothing else on it. It looked interesting, so at least it piqued my attention. So we'll see. But we did get a release date, which I don't know how true it's going to be because Bethesda is not very good about getting stuff out on time. Or if they do get it out on time, they don't bring it out well.
Right.
Starfield. I mean, that was the whole reason mainly for the showcase.
Oh, yeah, clearly. So is that what we're talking about now?
Yeah.
We're going to skip everything else?
Well, we'll touch base on it.
Well, okay. I was going to just bring up a little bit of the Cyberpunk, if you're a Cyberpunk fan.
Oh, yeah. The
new DLC looks really cool. They did a lot of updates to Cyberpunk, so now it's a great game.
That's another great point of what I said earlier.
Exactly.
I spent $70 on the game. I played it for like 3 hours. It was a buggy mess, and I could not get through it.
Well, I think what happened was a lot of people were excited because the makers of this is CD Projekt, and we all know they are known for Witcher, and Witcher 3 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. And so everybody thought this was going to be just like Witcher 3. It's going to just knock out the park. But clearly it didn't happen. This is something different from what they're used to, but now the game is great. So I'm excited because I think after this DLC, it's a big DLC, Phantom Liberty, and it looks good. And I think after this, then they're going to start making the new Witcher, which I'm really excited about. Go back to their roots.
But see, again, that brings up the point of they release games. Now I know one thing, and I don't want to give them like a pass here. I do know that Cyberpunk was in development hell forever.
Yes.
I think the first trailer was like right after, like I want to say close to 10 years ago, like the first like concept trailer for it.
Yeah.
And I could be absolutely wrong on that. I'm not even gonna use the energy to look it up, but it came out and it was. And again, I know that they get rushed and they got to get things out on. They've got deadlines and everything.
Yes.
But if you're going to release a game that's, I mean, they had to issue refunds, I think, for PlayStation.
Oh yeah, they had to issue. It was bad. I had to uninstall it because it wasn't fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how bad the game was.
One of the clubs I went into, there were like 3 character models and T-poses.
Yeah.
I even I played it maybe 8 months after it came out. And I started a new character or whatever because I hadn't played him for so long. I had no idea where I was. But I walked up to a character who's sitting at a bar and her legs aren't even rendered in.
Yeah.
It's just like... Yeah. There are things like that, and I'm not going to sit there and pretend to be a game developer. But as far as like what I do for a living, it's not my job. Like it's not a customer's job to understand what we do. It's their job to appreciate and consume what we provide.
Right. And that's they want us to pay $70 for the games.
Yeah.
Come on.
And that's the thing is like if you're not going to bring out a game that's finished, day one bugs I can live with. I mean, it's the way the world works now.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, you didn't have that luxury with the original consoles, with cartridges that came out, or the original PlayStation. Right. You had to send the game out finished. You had to playtest the hell out of it.
Well, I think back then though, those consoles they didn't ask Like now, these guys have so much they can do. It's their imagination's running wild, and there's so much they can do. So maybe that's probably causing an issue to why they can't get these bugs fixed. I don't know, but yeah, it was bad. But now the game is great, and if you watch like people's builds on YouTube, it is truly fun and it looks cool. So I'm gonna replay the game again now, and I'm going to get ready for this DLC, which I'm excited about.
Some other things that were announced and shown were the
new Carbon Black console.
Ooh, I have a Series S because I was too poor to afford a Series X, and I also couldn't find one.
Well, now they said that you can find one now, so you can upgrade if you want to.
Yeah, I will eventually.
But the good thing about the new console, it is 1 terabyte now.
Yeah, and but it's almost not enough.
It's not enough.
And we'll talk about this another day. But games are getting bigger and storage is not catching up. But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1, we got a lot more.
At the Summerfest, that was great. I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan. I don't know if you played in Mortal Kombat 11. The story was absolutely amazing. So I'm hoping they build from that, which I think they will. And
it looked like when they did the first trailer, whenever it was a few weeks ago, it looks like they're resetting the universe. That's what I got from it.
They're resetting the universe, and it's like something different. So usually, Raiden is the god. Yeah. Well, now it's Liu Kang. So it's like the dragon Liu Kang is the god. So it's going to be cool. I'm excited. I bought Street Fighter 6. That's a really fun game. I love fighting games. Having a blast with it. The RPG element of it's kind of cool. But yeah, Mortal Kombat's looks great.
The other big one before we get on to the big one, the Assassin's Creed Mirage looks great. Amazing. You know what? Honestly, I was watching the gameplay trailer just before I came over. It looks a lot like AC1.
Yes. That's what they wanted to try to do, go back to their roots.
And I mean, they do it so well. I don't know the time frame. I don't know if it's in. I see enough of it or look far enough into it to see if you're going to cross paths with Altair or not. But it was.
There's rumors that it's possible, but I don't know.
I forget the timeline because the character you play, Basim.
Yeah, I think so. You probably butchered that name, but
probably.
Yeah,
anyway, he was his first appearance was in the last Assassin's Creed in Valhalla.
Yes.
He was actually he's who introduced Ivor to the Assassin's Creed Bureau and everything.
Right. Which I didn't finish that game.
No, okay. It was.
So you just ruined the game for me.
I did not ruin the game for you. He leaves it at some point. Yeah,
well, maybe that's something exciting I want to find out.
It's not.
But Valhalla is a great game, though.
Okay.
I mean, graphically wise, gameplay wise, it was great.
Okay.
You didn't like
graphically, it was a beautiful game.
Gameplay, no.
I thought it was okay.
I guess I can see. I don't know.
After Odyssey was great.
Oh, Odyssey was great. Yeah, with the bow and arrow and everything. Yeah.
Everything about Odyssey.
Yeah,
was
Odyssey
amazing.
was good. I give you that.
I've played through most of Origins. Actually, funny enough, I went backwards. But no, Origins was real fun.
Like Hollywood. Sounds good.
But Valhalla was okay. But anyway, I'm looking forward to this. It looks a lot.
Yes, I'm excited.
Now, I hope they keep the same fighting. I hope they don't go back to the old combat style. From the original Assassin's Creed, after Origins and Forward brought the new like kind of hack and slash. You didn't have to time everything.
Yes.
It was a lot better. The combat system for AC1 was like you literally just had to sit there and wait for enemies to attack certain ways, and it got very stale very fast.
Yes.
But Origins kind of took it in a more of an RPG-esque.
I hope the gameplay is going to be really good because I don't know if you watched the PlayStation 5 showcase. And probably still to this day, this game has blown my mind in its combat is Phantom Blade Zero. If you haven't seen that, watch that gameplay, and I promise you, it is jaw-dropping. The sword gameplay in that is absolutely amazing. I have never seen a game like that ever, like in gameplay-wise.
I will have to check it out.
I promise you're gonna be like, you're gonna buy it
Okay, fair.
on PlayStation.
But yeah, I mean, there's other games that we didn't touch on, but I mean, obviously the showcase. We'll have the links for the articles we're looking at here, but
Yes.
but no, the show. Go watch the showcase. It was awesome. Like I said, Starfield was the main reason for it. For what I took away from it, it looks like a Bethesda game.
Yes.
I'm expecting there to be a crap ton of. I don't want to say game breaking, but it's Bethesda, so there's gonna be some game breaking bugs at launch. This one thing I'm gonna say: this better be worth it. This game better be a hit.
Yes.
Because like I said at the beginning, Sony has sat there and said had a staring contest with them and said, people are going to pay for our premium games. You have to put yours on Game Pass, and that's kind of ballsy to say, but
if you look at it, all pretty much Bethesda's games are successful. Most of them, majority of them.
I'm not saying that they're not, but this game better be worth it.
Well, it has to be because Xbox need this. If this is not worth it, or if this doesn't happen, I mean, Xbox it's bad. It's gonna be bad news for Xbox.
They have
for first party titles. Well, I don't know if this is first party, but you know what I mean.
They push so hard in making all this hype of, well, we have Game Pass, which Game Pass is awesome. I absolutely love the fact that I don't have to, like, for perfect example. I am so glad I did not have to spend $60 to play Halo.
Yeah.
If I paid $60 for Halo the way it was, now my opinion may have been a little bit different because I would have had money invested into it.
Right.
So I've been like, well, I would have found like, well, this wasn't that bad. Halo I hated it.
Yeah, I don't play
it. It was so.
I'm surprised they didn't even talk about Halo because there's a rumor that Halo's supposed to announce the Battle Royale.
But they don't need. See, that's an oversaturated market. Again.
It is, but
conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But like I said, this game has to be good. And this game, if it launches like a lot of AAA games launch today, they've got to fix it fast.
I trust Todd Howard.
I don't.
Well, I would say I do.
Skyrim. Oh, Skyrim was a nightmare when it came out.
It was, but look at it. It's one of the top-selling games of all times.
Right, and again, I think they're using a lot of that because, again, if you come out with that game and it's a nightmare, buggy, which we expect from Bethesda games.
Yeah.
Todd Howard even made a joke a few years ago. He was like, "Oh, I've heard that our games have a certain kind of charm," and he's talking about the bugs.
He knows.
And again, it is kind of funny, but it stops being funny when it's not being addressed.
Right.
I
mean, I'm not gonna. Luckily, we don't have to pay for it if you got Game Pass.
Right.
I mean, I know PlayStation players are not happy at all. It's not going to be on PlayStation at all. But this is what Xbox needed for first party. I mean, their only first party they had to help them was Gears of War, and it wasn't even announced when it was supposed to be announced, apparently.
Right, and it's again, it looks there's a ton of customization.
Oh gosh, have you seen the ships?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks really good.
I am definitely going to make me a flying penis ship.
A flying penis. Well, I mean, that's. Trust me, you won't be the first.
Oh, I know I won't be the first.
I mean, we've been online.
Yeah. Well, did you see? I don't know if it was. Yeah, it was in that showcase. Did you see that somebody made a ship that looked like Optimus Prime?
I did not.
You missed it?
I missed it.
Yeah, it looked just like it had the color, the blue legs, then it went up and went red. It was funny.
Yeah.
So you have to go back just to see that part.
I mean, again, now the one thing, and I heard somebody, I want to say it was on TikTok. They made a lot of they pointed when he's talking about it, he's like, you see that moon over there? You can travel to that moon. You can do that in No Man's Sky too.
Yeah. You can do that in Mass Effect.
Yeah, but I mean, the way that you travel is very similar to No Man's Sky.
Just like No Man's Sky was a big letdown, and it lied to a lot of customers.
Oh God, that was.
But now it's how it should have been.
Yeah,
but I'm hoping that Starfield will be what they're saying that it is.
It looks like.
I think it will because Microsoft, Xbox is dishing a lot of money to Bethesda.
Absolutely. I mean they bought Bethesda for this. I would assume.
Yeah, for this and Skyrim.
But there was, again, it looks a lot like a story-driven No Man's Sky.
Yes.
No Man's Sky it doesn't have.
But it looks way prettier
Oh,
and
absolutely.
more customizations.
Yeah.
I love the dogfights.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think you can in No Man's Sky. I don't know. I never
You can.
played it.
It's
Not great, I heard.
it's okay.
But I have to say though, the gameplay from what I've watched, the gameplay and just the
Of what?
fighting
of Starfield.
Starfield, the fighting with your guns.
Oh
is-
yeah.
I mean, I first mod jetpack all day.
Oh, yeah. The verticality, the way that you're moving, it was like a good Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. A good advance. Yeah, exactly.
But no, yeah, it looks like, I mean, and a lot of they were showing the inventory and the attention to detail on the guns. I mean, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, the customizations you can do and just your character, and I think it's going. I really, give it a bit. I really hope it does because I am definitely playing that, and I'm probably not going to have a life that much.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I mean, we may have to take a break from the podcast 1 week,
just to get 1 week.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, I mean, it looks really good. Microsoft needs it to be good.
It has to be good.
They don't. I don't think they can miss on this. And again, I've heard other people talking about it. They created, and it was the biggest selling point when they brought out the Series X and Series S. The Series X is the most powerful console on the market. They say, it's the most powerful console ever. And from at least what I've seen, hardware wise, it just outshines the PS4. It does a lot of stuff, especially the 4K or 8K. It's native. It's not upscaled like the PlayStation does. Which I'm not even gonna lie, I don't really understand what that means. But it sounds cool.
Well,
it sounds fancy. But they put so much more hardware into this.
I actually bought a monitor to experience what they're talking about.
But again, it's all talk, and it's like you have this. It's like, oh man, I got this great engine. Where's the car?
Yeah.
There's no car around it.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I've got a Ferrari motor.
Yeah.
No Ferrari.
I mean, the Xbox. Yeah, technically, it is the most powerful console on the market. But there's not a lot of games that really show that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, God of War on PlayStation 5 is breathtaking.
Oh,
and it looks like that could be the most powerful console. We know it's not technically, but I mean, it's just how the developers optimize the game for that console. That's why I'm hoping Starfield's optimized. We did find out, Todd Howard did say that Starfield is going to run at 30 frames a second, just so it'll run smooth.
Yeah.
So.
And again,
but it's going to run 4K at 30 frames a second,
right? And
then on the S, it'll run
1440p.
1440,
yeah. And again, like I said, as long as it's good, and I think
hey, we just get it for free. It's all
right?
good.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna have to pay for it. Anything else you want us?
I think we touched base on pretty much what Xbox had to deliver. Ubisoft was good. Those, the main two games were, Mirage and Star Wars Outlaws. And Avatar, that looked kind of cool.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Avatar.
I don't really care.
I don't even watch the movies.
No.
So
I went to watch the first movie in theaters. And
I'm sorry.
It's
I mean, a lot of people like it. I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. I mean, the game looks good. I think it'd be kind of fun because they are implementing the co-op on there, so it looks like it'd be kind of cool. But I'm not going to buy it.
It's
unless somebody
Pocahontas
gives it to me.
in space. That's what Avatar is. It's Pocahontas in space.
Yeah,
this is all it is.
Yeah, you're just an alien.
Yeah, it's just the alien. You take Native Americans and put aliens in their place, and you take the white man and you put the white man in its place. And that's all it was.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah, and that's so it was a very long movie. It's also by the way, it's just as long in 3D.
The first one or the second one?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I went to watch the first one, and then my friend.
When did you watch the first one?
Whenever it came out, forever ago.
Okay, all right. So you didn't see the second one?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't either.
My friend dragged me to go see it again in 3D, and it's just as long in 3D.
I would probably be asleep.
Yeah,
I went to sleep.
I got a headache.
Well, 3D will do that to you, especially when the movie sucks.
Or it's like 4.5 hours long. I don't think it was that long, but it was long. But yeah, I mean, they're making a Avatar game. Cool, I guess.
I mean, I'm just
Not
saying
the Avatar I want. My Avatar has to do with the Fire Nation when the Fire Nation
Yeah.
attacked.
Yeah.
That's the better Avatar.
I don't know. It looked cool. I'm not gonna play it, but it looked kind of cool. I think it'd be cool if it was like just something else, but whatever. But that's about it. But all in all, though, the showcase, Xbox, I think, hopefully they just deliver. That's all I'm hoping.
I think that's all they need to. And if they deliver on these games and they're not delayed, that's going to be the huge problem.
Well, I think the only 2 games that are coming just that's for this year that's supposed to save its butt is Forza and Starfield. That's it.
That's we had a release date for Payday. There are other games that we didn't touch on that will probably have release dates, but
Payday's this is 3. We're talking about like for instance, I mean, Forza's not like a new IP. They really need a new IP to like do like what God of War did,
or bring back
Gears.
some. The one thing I did see that too. Did you ever play Blinks?
No.
Timesweeper.
Oh, no. They were supposed to bring that back.
That's what I heard. That's another thing I was kind of watching for, and I was like, now Blinks next, not Blinks next. Now it's Blinks. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a. I played it on the original Xbox when I was in high school. I think it's a fun concept. It was a lot like Prince of Persia. You can rewind time, but you also had the ability to pause. In fact, it
looked cool. It was. I played a little bit. It looked fun.
But yeah, I mean, we were supposed to get some kind of reboot or remaster or just new iteration of it. We never did. But no,
Probably never will.
Probably, but they have a lot of IPs in the tank now, and we'll see.
A lot of promises.
A lot of promises, and hopefully they deliver. But we'll see. That'll remain to be seen for now. Anything else you got today?
I think that's covered. That's about it, really, for the showcase and everything.
Yep. All right. So, once again, this has been Two Dudes and a Cup.
Yes, yes.
The cup is there for a reason.
Take it easy on us. This is our first podcast together. Trust me, it will get we'll get some more good stuff to talk about.
So this will be audio only. Probably the next probably a few will be audio only for a little bit until we get the camera situation going. But please give us a comment. Tell us what you were excited most for in the showcase, or what you wanted to see that you didn't see, or if you think anything is overhyped and not going to be worth it. Definitely let us know. Subscribe and
let us know what you want us to talk about. We'll actually do a request and see what y'all want to talk about. And
yeah,
we'll
for
talk
sure.
About that.
Thanks for listening, guys. Again, my name is Ryan.
I am Jason.
Please be sure to follow us on all the socials. We are on TikTok, Instagram, I think Reddit, Twitter, and
soon YouTube.
With
our videos.
Yes.
We'll probably throw some clips here and there on TikTok.
So yeah, make sure to follow over there, guys. Thanks.
Do it.